Hello and welcome. This is Ultimate Virtual. We're here for the Season 6 Spanish Grand Prix at the Valencia circuit. I am joined by Corvid, Cado, Nuno, Pumpkin, Anti, and Eurist, who are all free to chat during this race because vibes. Wow.
Hello.
Hello.
It is
What's
qualifying though.
up?
Yeah, it is qualifying, but what do we think is going to happen in the qualifying?
I don't know. I'm racing.
No,
I mean, the start, Anti and Shiloh look kind of nuts.
What are you guys doing?
we're simming UV. This is not the normal style. This is community commentated
I
because
need to leave that
Community
race.
commentating.
I would fall asleep if I was commentating this alone.
Oh, though I've got fast slap after one lap.
Yeah,
So this is with the upgrades that we just saw earlier today, right?
that's correct. So
Okay.
the token spend, remember it, cherish it in your mind, is Fox with 3, Kubo with 2, Anti with 4, Grandy with 2, Het with 3, Andres with 3, Shiloh with 4, Corvid with 2, and Pappy with 4. Crazy. Nuts.
I got none. Can you repeat that?
Everyone wants to do well in Valencia.
Yeah, that's right. The upgrades for this week where Fox got a speed upgrade, NSV got a speed upgrade, SFR got a speed upgrade, FVR got a speed upgrade, Velocity got a speed upgrade, Velocity also got a grip upgrade, BFX got a speed upgrade, Fuerza got a speed upgrade, and PPR got a grip upgrade. And that means that THX have the fastest car, tied with BFX, which is nuts. They're back. They're so back.
They're looking pretty good though. Kubo in second. We've got a 3 around 1-3 at the moment. There's
There's
a minute to go.
FVR
just to
second
clarify-
fastest.
Is Eurist using any tokens?
Eurist is not using any tokens.
All right. That's a
happy.
great
I think is
qualifying
we're using 4. So
so far.
yeah, good spot to be in at the moment.
37 seconds left. It is Shiloh. She's top of the timing sheets by just 100th of a second over Kubo. It's the Furia Rojas in what is Kamikaze's final ever race, owning the Furia Rojas, running 1 and 2. They're going to change livery from qualifying to the race. Magical, I know. But they only had time to paint it following the qualifying session. So they're rocking a completely different livery come the race, which will be in their Season 3 stripes, the Spanish flag colours. Good quality from Anti so far, sitting in 4th position, but nobody can quite touch Corvid, who's taken the lead in the timing sheets. This will be the final lap of qualifying here, and Anti looks very, very speedy as he heads through the chicane. Can he make it pole position with a wonderful lap here? He's spending 4 tokens. He's in an SFR car, which has done very well last season and this season. As he comes round the final corner, he'll improve to pole. Brilliant lap from the Finn.
No, no.
What a lap that was.
Amazing lap.
Crikey.
31-35. That's a crazy lap, eh?
Chevy
Those last laps across the field too just really shows how fast Anti was on that final lap. On the last time to attempt a lap, and he pulled it through at the end.
Here is your grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. Anti takes pole position in a magical final lap that saw him draw 3.5 tenths ahead of Corvid on the front row. Shiloh will start in 3rd place ahead of Kubo in 4th. Then it's Andres in 5th ahead of Hetmanica, double Dutch row 3. Fox starts ahead of Pit Crew, and then the flipped way round, the row behind, it's Grandy ahead of Abva. The Foxes and Thunder X's occupying the final spots in the top 10. Eurist starts P11 for Team Velocity, just ahead of Pappy in 12th. Then it's Goose, Vaporeon, Rito, Bluebell, Todd Sod, Somehow I Made It, Suicide, and Cado starts last.
Best from last.
Yes, baby, last to first.
Good
Your
lap.
Your token spenders today, as previously mentioned, Fox spending 3 starts 7th, Kubo spending 2 starts 4th. Then we have Anti spending 4 starts from pole position. Grandy spending 2 starts from 9th. He'll hope to improve upon that in the race. Hetmanica spends 3, he starts up in 6th. Andres spends 3, he starts ahead in 5th. Shiloh spends 4. She'll start behind her teammate in 3rd. Corvid opts on out qualifying your teammate 2 tokens down.
Well, we'll see how it goes in the race, though. I'm more than happy to give the position up if she turns out to be the fastest driver in the mid race, but we'll see how the strategy plays out.
I'm sure she will. And Pappy, with 4 tokens, starts in 12th. That is dusty.
It's very brutal.
Blimey. Right, we'll bring you right to the... Oh, no. Hang on. Let's do the standings. Currently in the lead of our World Drivers' Championship, it's Grandy by 32 points over Caddo, who only has 36. Then next it's Anti with 32 points, who is behind Grandy by 36. So add up the points of the 2nd and 3rd place runners in the championship, and you get Grandy leading. Crazy. Not finished outside the top 4 so far this season. Further down, Todd Sod in 4th and Fox in 5th, double Canadian, top 5 there. Shiloh looking to improve back up on 6th place, take herself higher up in the championship. Terms of the Constructors' Championship, ThunderX lead the way by 39 points. We have a very tight mid-pack, 53 points. Fox are on, down to 48 with Flying V Racing in 2nd, down to 4th, Team Velocity in that fight as well with 51. There's NSV with 40, down to SFR Maserati with 34, another trio with Furia Roja in the middle. Pappy Pops behind it with 25 points, and then it's BFX on 16, Porsche on 12. Currently the team tipped to be going down at the end of the season. Let's bring you right to the racing action. We're ready for the race start here in Valencia.
Et rendez-vous au premier virage.
And we're underway! Anti leads from pole position. He took the mediums at the race start. Corvid immediately on the soft, looking for a move into the double right-hander. Can he manage it as they head towards the bridge section? He just tucks in behind at the moment. Shiloh looking to put pressure on her teammate. It's Kubo behind. Here comes Corvid down into the chicane. He takes the lead in the Valencia race. Shiloh through as well, and it's a Furia Roja 1-2 in their home race, in their final race in Ultimate Virtual. What a start for the Spaniards. Anti ahead of Kubo. Fox up the inside at the final corner. He's going to take 4th, or Rizzy. Kubo fights him, but it's not enough. Pit crew and Hetmenica. Pappy goes sailing through. The Canadian has made up 5 positions on the opening lap already. Hetmenica's down 2. Grandy with Andrews right behind. It's Caro, then Rito, then Afra. Then Goose somehow made it. Todd Sod, Urison, Suicide, Viporian, and Bluebell at the backhand. He's back into 2nd. Kubo into 3rd now. He's ahead of Corvid here. Fox still in 5th position. Pappy, then Hetmenica. Wow, what a race start. Cado looked for a move up the inside of Andres, down into the hair, but he moves over, he hits the wall, and Andres gets back through on the exit into the final corner. Cado once again looks to the outside, and he does get through this time, up into 9th position. Goes the Team Velocity driver, not spending any tokens whatsoever today. A decent start from him. My lungs are about to collapse. Shiloh from Kubo, then Corvid. Wow, Corvid fell off. He's looking at a move here. He's got the overspeed on Kubo. Down into the hairpin he goes, and he clunks the wall, and it's a bit of a clunky overtake. But the Aussie does get past the pole. The Anti up into 3rd place down. Kubo down there. It's constantly shifting around in this top 4. All of these drivers. Wow, what a start. Corvid, as we see Pappy go through on his countryman. Your thoughts on that race start?
Oh, it's been absolutely crazy start for the top 4 at the moment. They've sort of broken away from the next group behind them. It's going to be really tight to see how strategy plays out afterwards, and if any of the drivers behind get into any extra circumstances regarding collisions and whatnot, as Kubo gets back into 3rd.
Oh, and Shiloh, after Anti took the lead off her half a lap ago, is back into the race lead. This could be an amazing result. It's 4 tokens versus 4 tokens, but pardon me, versus 2, 3. I want to say 3 as well. 3, none, something. I'm
Happy
basically
as well
guessing at this
got
point.
a really strong start, getting from 11th to 5th in just less than 5 laps here.
Really strong start. To categorise by spend, 4 tokens for Anti and Shiloh and Pappy. 3 tokens for Fox and Hetmenica and Andres, and then 2 tokens for Kubo, then Grandy, and then Corvid. All in all, that is 9 token spenders. 3 on each of the various spends, apart from 1 spend. Anti, look at the speed that he's got down that back
Oh.
straight. Oh, it was so close.
Brilliant. He looks the gap just completely close to nothing there.
There he
Gonna have to move
goes.
into the final corner.
Takes the
He's got it
lead.
done.
What an overtake that is. He's just had that pace in the late stint of the medium tyre. He whispers to those tyres. He asks them how they're doing. He gets them a drink or two. He absolutely nails the performance. And Corvid isn't nailing the performance. He's been overtaken by Kubo. He's in 4th place. It could be better for the Aussie. Kubo in 3rd.
Better for the softs as well. The soft tires will start to
Mm.
drown a little bit as we head into the into a little bit of a cloud cover we've got in terms of the weather here. As the soft runners are going in, Kubo and Corvid trailing behind him into the pits now.
Indeed they are. The 2 soft runners in. Will Caddo be in? Yes, he will. But he started 20th. So to be in 8th already is a mighty, mighty effort from the only man currently on the softs. He switches those out for a
With no
set of
tokens
hards.
as well.
I know, crazy
Don't
start.
forget that.
Not bad that at all. He comes out in 15th place ahead of Bluebell. The 4th highest driver to have stopped so far. So not unencouraging remotely. Grandy, oh my god, look at Fox just driving away from him. Up the road he goes. Nice and easy for the Canadian. Menica in 5th, Andrews in 4th. The Dutchies less present in the virtual realm recently, but they're putting in a really good shift here today. It's Shiloh just behind Anti now, who's in the race lead. Long way back
That
for 3rd
9
place.
second gap as well between 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Even with this undercut, Anti and Shiloh will be very comfortable against Corvid and Kubo when they do make their stops.
It is a biggie, alright. There's no doubt about it. Wah, wah, wee, wah. Can we hear from our P2 runner, Shiloh, at the moment? Is she with us?
Don't believe she is.
Fair enough. Anti is about to get overtaken by her, though. Look at her go! No team radio, but she is making those moves up into 1st place. Brilliant to see that. Corvid, how's it hanging in 3rd? You keeping Het behind effectively?
Oh, it's looking okay for now. It's the pass on Het was pretty simple given his tyre at the moment, as we actually see the leaders pitting in right now for those mediums. 10 laps, and Shiloh and Anti are both in at the same time.
That means we should see those soft runners start to sneak their way through. In fact, look at you go. Corvid through turn 1.
There we go.
Furia Roja run 1 and 2 here. Could this be in their final race as a Spanish team? A wonderful, wonderful send-off for their neglecting and abusive team owner, Kamikaze. Potentially. We'll have to see. Corvid on 2 tokens. Shiloh on 4. Ooh.
Oh, huge call on the rain here now, as the precipitation is about to hit us in about 20 seconds or so.
And
The
they're all
leaders are
in.
going to immediately react.
They're all driving into that pit lane. That's rough for Shiloh. 1 lap old softs. No more.
Huge
Anti.
for Het Menica, though.
the hards.
Did not stop yet.
No. Nor has Grandy, nor has Goose, nor has Pit Crew, and nor has Somehow I Made It. Great for all of those drivers. Very close to Furia Roja. It's Kamikaze, if he was still remotely giving a shit about this league, would tell them to stop tripping over each other out in the lead, because a look at Anti encroaching. Shiloh is going to go for the move. She does take the lead back, but that puts Corvid at risk of the flying fin on his posterior. Can he try and get a move through the final corner? He goes to the outside. Corvid shuts that lane off. Anti slides wide, but not too wide up the inside into turn 1. He takes that 2nd place. A great little move from the Finster. Can he get a potential go at Shiloh here? Sliding wide, wide. Look at the pace on that SFR Maserati Corsa. And he does take the lead here on lap 13 of 43. This is an amazing fight. And Corvid staying in this despite the 2 token spend. Wow.
Also have to note, Kubo did fall away because of the pit timing, and he's also the only running on the inters at the moment, so that's really going to hamper his pace in the coming laps.
Indeed. That is really pretty crazy. Pappy looking for a move there. The 4 token spender would hope to finish higher than 7th place. Last time out we had well, not last time maybe. Oh yeah, no, it was last time. Vaporeon with 3 tokens could only manage 7th, so it was not a good result from the Brit, who is having one of the least impressive rookie seasons that we've seen in recent times. Shiloh and Anti having a little old scrap there. Anti, oh, look at that. Heavy rain on its way
Ooh.
back. That will only negatively affect Kubo, pretty much, who is the only
Yeah.
driver on the Inter. Poor sod. Oh, Shiloh around the outside she goes. Brilliant move on Corvid, who has his line compromised. And, oh, I think the stewards might take a look at that. I think he
Ooh,
was
that
all
was tight.
4 wheels off the white lines there. He absolutely sent it straight through the blue patch into second, but he has cleared Corvid now. He's going to have to look at another go at Shiloh, and this lead is changing like underwear at the moment. Up the inside is the final corner. Does Shiloh have a response? Yes, she does. Keeps hanging out the outside. Brilliant move. Anti looking for a little snake through turn 1 and 2. Can't quite manage it, but this is an amazing, amazing start for the Furia Rojas. And Menica, who was 9 seconds back in 4th place, has that gap reduced to just 1.6 because of that lack of a pit stop before everyone was forced to come in. Kubo on the Inters is dropping further
Oh
back.
my
Look at
god,
the
the speed from
speed!
Fox behind him.
Brilliant from that. Surely it's an inevitability that Fox will get through. Like taking candy from a baby, he does so. Kubo does not have the grip to answer that on the corner exit, despite Fox's poor line through the hairpin. Can he? No, he just doesn't have the grip. Too much standing water for the NSV car with his intermediate tyres. Medica, meanwhile, has caught Corvid. Corvid dropped a little bit off this fight in the top 2. It is Anti leading. It is Shiloh in second. It's Corvid. We've got our defending champion versus 2 rookies. What a great prospect this is. Corvid versus Medica. A little further back, it's Pappy in 5th. He'd be happier, I reckon. With that, Anti has been overtaken by Shiloh, covers off the outside. She does. Eurus gets slightly in the way, and that's going to give Anti the lead right back as we head on to lap 18 of this Spanish Grand Prix. Corvid has slightly closed the gap. We have to take a look at the others, otherwise I'll get done for neglect. It's Kubo in 6th, dropping ever further from Pappy. He has gone back past Fox, though, impressively, who is in 7th. Grandy in 8th. Andrews in 9th. Would not be too pleased with that, considering the tokens that he's spending. Look at this fight out in the front. It's Shiloh, then Corvid, then Anti. Corvid looked to drop into 4th. Now he looks to make a move on his teammate. Eurus is still being an absolute bastard getting in the way. But Anti is looking at a really good move around the outside of the final corner. Corvid back down into 3rd. Not for long, side by side, but that kink to the inside favours the Finn. And he does take 2nd place. Shiloh leads. It's Anti, then Corvid, similar to how it was before. But we just had those 3 cars separated by about 0.2 of a second.
Oh my god, look at the speed Anti had during that corner.
Through into the lead he goes.
He's
This
through.
seems to be a hunting ground, that little chicane section, where F1 drivers, once upon a time, crashed into each other quite heavily. UV drivers, anything but, keeping it nice and clean through that corner. Hetmanica coming up to lap Eurist. Nice.
He's
Pappy.
actually caught quite nicely into head.
Pappy doing well there. Kubo still ahead of Fox, impressively. Grandy, then Andrews, then Goose, Pit Crew, then Bluebell, Caddo. Somehow I made it. Abver, then Eurist, Todd, then Rito. And then Suicide and Vaporeon in last place. Both of the Porsches, only 1 stop for them so far. Shiloh
is going to be the first one in, and it looks like others going to be following him for the for some slicks.
Yes, Goose the highest runner to come in at the moment. Surely all of these front runners will be in. Kubo might try something quirky and different with his intermediate, but you would be surprised. All of these front 5 into the pit lane. Kubo does not differ from that strategy. Everyone above Goose has pitted, and Goose doesn't really stand to gain much with the undercut there. Shiloh is out, Anti is out, and lapping his teammate Somehow I Made It, who has had a bit of a torrid season or so in comparison, in contrast to his high-flying teammate. He's looking to unlap himself potentially here, but he might just not have the speed to do so. Shiloh from Anti, who turns a really late lunge, and that was never going to work. Just gets squeezed into the barrier there, but he does recover quite well. Does he have a chance heading onto lap 22 here? They're coming up to lap Caddo now. Anti to the inside at turn 1, can't make anything happen. The next chicane doesn't bear fruit from either, but he does just drive past on that second straight.
That was a much better move after that turn 2 option. It was a bit too desperate that first time around, but the second time was all too good. And with that medium tyre as well, we should see Anti perhaps have a bit more of an advantage fighting Shiloh compared to what we've seen in previous laps, but Shiloh there just comes back around into the lead.
Despite that, as we cross the halfway mark in this race, Shiloh on the hards, right past Anti on the mediums. Corvid on the mediums was quite encroached by Hetmenica on the hards, who has not been on the podium for a long old while. I don't think it's been since season 4 that he's been on the podium. I'm sure that one of our various people in VC could fact check the last Hetmenica podium. But for now, Pappy, then Fox, Kubo right behind now. Fox did get past in the end, but that's probably a result of taking the softs over the hards rather than the wets versus inters. It's a great little lead for Shiloh, still looking for her first victory in Ultimate Virtual. She came so close in Jeddah, but cruelly it was snatched away by Grandy, the terrorizer of rookies' dreams, the most winning driver ever in Ultimate Virtual, yet never a championship. Anti, then Corvid at Medica, then Pappy. Look at this. Fox lapping his teammate Kubo, then Grandy. Andries chasing in on the fin ahead. Bluebell quite close to Goose indeed. It's tightening up top as well. Anti looking good here. We'll do a little tyre rundown. Shiloh on the hards, Anti on the mediums, Corvid on the mediums, Pappy on the mediums, and Medica on the hards. He's lost a position. It would have been that slower hard compound tyre that sacrificed a bit of pace for the Dutchman, and that is, well, that's what really matters, pace. He's not got that in abundance. Fox is in 7th. He won this race last season, and Kubo won it the season before. Neither of them look in particular contention to take a humongous victory here, but 6th and 7th is not bad running for these boys. Cado also took his first ever podium with Furia Roja. So, a very nice track, lots of memories made here over these 3 seasons that it's been in the league. It was an emergency replacement track in Season 4, as we see Anti go around the outside. Look at that. Brilliant.
The gap was almost, the gap was over 1.5 seconds just 2 laps ago. I feel maybe perhaps Anti really saving up that battery for another quick charge. But those mediums will be starting to die out in the next 3-4 laps, so we'll have to see what plays out from there, because there's still
look at the speed of the yank.
17 laps to go, but Shiloh back through, and that's going to be every time Shiloh gets back through, it's just going to hurt Anti even more with those medium tires, because he's he might still have 2 stops to go on this lap. Shiloh perhaps might be able to only make the single stop and make it to the end, perhaps even on fresher tires, and Anti will have to.
What a move!
On the next stint, but wow, another crazy move from Shiloh, and she's back in the lead.
She didn't nick a single bit of concrete on the inside of that. A far send, but like you've said, this is the strategy. Keep peppering away at Anti. He does have the pace at this point in the stint, but if you can keep making those overtakes and frustrate the Finnish driver ahead of you, then you can get yourself a really good little late stint progress. Anti, now 6/10 ahead, finally dashes through, but those mediums will be dead in a lap or 2. So just the constant sense, Shiloh from so far back going into that hairpin, perfectly side by side. She placed the car right up the inside. Goose slightly blocks her off there. It's not going to do her too many favours as the man north of the border gets in the way. But, oh, look, again. Crikey, how much did Anti pay him?
This is really not helping Shiloh's race. She's still in a good position now. She does have a lot of battery, but this is the breakthrough that Anti really needed to revive his race here.
More importantly, his Abva and Cado fighting over 14th position, 13th position. This is a really close battle for the man who started last. And Abva, I don't really have anything interesting to say. Anti is in.
There he is.
Mediums off. Hards on. He's
Hard
going to the end on these tyres. 14 laps to go. That's going to be a bit of a stretch.
It's going to be quite tight come the end of the race. Anti might have a real struggle getting to the end, so I'd say the ball is really on Shiloh's court here. If she pits in a reasonable amount of time, she could have the overall better stint for the final stint and maybe make inroads on that gap that Anti will never have once she makes that stop.
Pappy in 6th, the 4 token spender. Flash up the tokens as a reminder to all of us. Indeed, they have been up for a while. So it's Fox on 3, Kubo on 2, Anti on 4, Grandy on 2, Het on 3, Andries on 3, Shiloh on 4, Corvid on 2, and Pappy on 4.
We just missed it, but both of the Furia Rojas actually just pitted on the same lap.
Ooh.
So yeah, huge from Shiloh to get on the hard tires, and Corvid going for the softs. We'll have to see how that plays out. We'll have to make one more stop after this But,
Shiloh pitted onto the hard,
yeah.
a lap fresher than Anti's. She's made that count because she has gotten past into the net race lead, but Hermenica does hold it on track for now. No longer. Shiloh leads lap 31 here in Spain. Anti does close in though. Look at that through the chicanes. He's really tightening this up a lap older hards, but nobody's told him that. He goes up the inside and will take the position here. On lap 32, it's been a ding-dong battle all race long and really fantastic to see, actually. But, I mean, he's back into the lead. It's hard versus hard. Corvid on the soft. Do you reckon you can make inroads here?
Well, it could be interesting, especially with the this massive undercut and the fact that the hard tires are usually slated to. We've seen most of the hard tire runners go about 9, 10, even 11 laps. We're asking for 13, 14 from Shiloh and Anti respectively, so perhaps the undercut with the two uses of softs will be the way to go. Hetmenica also going for that
Look at the
strategy to
pace.
finish the race as well. And there it is. Corvid through into the lead of the race.
In less than a lap, he passes his teammate. He passes Anti. That soft tyre is working a treat. His last lap was a personal best. Just 2/10 off the fastest overall lap. And I dare say that this last lap might be even quicker. It is. And getting the lead and taking the fastest lap. Corvid, in one lap, turns that point score around from about 15 to 26 as we head on to lap 34. He will need to come in. He will need to see that wonderful pit crew of his one final time. This will be the last ever pit stop for a Kamikaze-owned Ultimate Virtual team in the foreseeable future. He'll be coming in to see that Spanish crew one last time to service the car and give him tyres. But until then, he can enjoy this race lead as we head on to lap 35 of 43. Shiloh closes in. Pappy is now in fourth, ahead of Hetmenica. He pitted slightly earlier, but so he does have the fresher, softer tyres. Fox in sixth. It's Kubo in seventh. Grandy in eighth. Really poor running from the championship leader. 2 tokens, 8th place only. Andres spending 3 is in ninth. Bluebell, his teammate, tokenless 10th. Brilliant to see that. Pretty insane, actually. Second place, there is a fight. It's Shiloh and it's Anti. This is the net race lead once Corvid has to come into the pit lane, but he will be enjoying those softs. They were giving him so much pace. He's now 2 seconds off the pace and only 2 seconds ahead of his teammates, so he can't afford many more laps like that. But the absolute blistering speed of the Australian in the Furia Roja, unparalleled there on just a couple laps to go. He will be in very soon. One final stint, this lap or next, he'll be in for the soft compound tyre. Shiloh now clear of Anti. She hopes to keep it that way, but it's a long time to the finish, and all it takes is a gain of a couple tenths a lap over these final 7 laps. Anti will be back into the lead. Corvid, meanwhile, into the pit lane, the last one for Furia Roja. Takes the mediums. Down into 4th place he goes. It's good pace from Pappy that's gotten him into contention. Hetmenica will not be in this conversation for the podium as it stands. Older softs versus brand spanking new mediums, but Pappy runs third. It's the 3-4 token spenders on the podium. Corvid looks to spoil the party. The 5 speed of that Furia Roja and the fury of the Australian man behind the wheel looks to get round the outside of Pappy. He takes 3rd place. Can he make it more? His teammate looks pretty comfortable. She's out in the lead of the race. Corvid is 3.6 seconds back. 6 laps to go here. Hetmenica into pit lane. He's been passed by Pappy already. He'll be passed by Fox as well. And Kubo. Grandy, I fear, may be slightly too far back, but Hetmenica will be left with a lot to do and with not many laps left to do it. 5 to go here. Needs to recover from 2nd place up to 4th, maybe higher. Kubo behind Fox still. Hetmenica really closing in now. We'll focus on this. Shiloh is in!
Shiloh in for the pits.
Ooh,
Anti's
and
in as
Anti as
well.
well. That gives Corvid the race lead. The 2 token spender in the Furia Roja is in the lead of the race. And Pappy in as well. Incredible scenes here in Valencia. We thought they would take these tyres to the end. No can do. Corvid will
That is
not
a
have to make
3
these
second
passes
gap
on track.
with 5 laps to go.
It will be something, this. Shiloh may have to take that race win. Her first ever race win in the top tier of virtual racing off her teammate looking for his first ever race win in the top tier of virtual racing. Both of them seasoned CV winners, but not in the top bracket of the motorsports. Hetmenica, wow, I fumbled that. Hetmenica sets a PB lap, but it's not going to be enough. Pappy, who has the fresher soft tyre, goes into 4th place, and he looks to chase down a podium. Shiloh, meanwhile, this is it. Furia Roja at their home race, their final ever race, owned by Kamikaze, who earlier this week has already left the team's headquarters, packed up his bags, and said goodbye. The 2 co-owners will take the team over. They're taking it all the way to the checkered flag with their battling here. Shiloh with a great overtake into turn 1. That may well be curtains, folks, because that is amazing pace from her. Before and after the overtake, the gap is a second. But can they finish it off? They've won twice before in Ultimate Virtual. Once in Imola at the hands of Andrian. Once in Saudi Arabia at the hands of Kamikaze. Can they take their first ever 1-2, their home race, their final race? Can they do it? Andy looks to spoil this. 4 tokens for 3rd place. He would be pretty gutted with this result, but he sets
Oh, it's a fast lap.
a PB
He's
lap
so
time.
far back.
Look at Corvid. He's caught Shiloh.
Oh
With a
my
lap
God.
and a half to go. This is so tight between the Australian and the American, who are going to co-own this team in the future. But no love lost here. No team orders. And Corvid back into the lead. Shiloh back up the inside. Great grip for her on the soft compound tyre through the final corner. They go side by side. 1 lap decides it all as they cross the line level. Nothing between them. Shiloh, though, makes that gap once again in the early sector of the lap. Corvid will have to try so hard to reel her back in, but it may not be enough. There is a series of corners to go between Shiloh, who has fought so hard, has been so determined to finally take her first ever race win in Ultimate Virtual. She couldn't get it in Saudi Arabia. It's redemption day for the American driver. She wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Corvid will make it a Furia Roja 1-2, their first in their history
Unbelievable.
of the competition, and Anti will round out the podium. But it could have been so much more. Pappy takes 4th. He won't be sad in the end. That's 8 positions made up from his grid spot. It's Hetmenica just ahead of the Flying Fox. Kubo in 7th place, ahead of Grandy. This point in the season up till now, he hasn't finished outside the top 4. He finishes 8th today. Andries, with a load of tokens spent, will only take 9th, but his teammate Bluebell, with not a single one spent, with what is now the tied fastest car on the grid, as they really start to come into their own, will come home here eventually in 10th place. They have a really fast car. They're spending tokens now, but they will be disappointed that they couldn't do slightly more with that. Your final results as we see all the points finishers come across the line coming up right now. It's maximum points for Furia Roja, 1st place, 2nd place, and the fastest lap as well. What a bow that is to take. A hats off to Kamikaze and this team that has struggled so far down the championship for so many seasons. Never finished anywhere but 9th in Ultimate Virtual. Look at them now. SFR Maserati Corsa take yet another podium. It's Anti in 3rd, Pappy then Hetmenica, Fox then Kubo, Grandy, Andries and Bluebell double points for BFX. Goose just outside the points ahead of Pit Crew, then somehow made it. It's Abva, then Kado, Todd Sod, then Urist, Rito, Vaporeon and Suicide. That was the final race of the first half of the season. We'll see you next time at a brand new circuit for Ultimate Virtual, the Italian Grand Prix, but this time hosted at Vallelunga. Until then though, bye bye.